Front is going to drop south later on this late morning into the early afternoon and compress some air ahead of it, warming us up into the middle and upper 90s, especially in and around Lincoln, Nebraska City, over towards Hebron and areas south and east through the afternoon today. So that's why those forecasted temperatures are in the middle and upper 90s. With that air compressing as well, that kind of moisture in the atmosphere is certainly going to compress with it. So we're going to kind of get some moisture pooling in southeast Nebraska, sending those heat indices soaring into the lower 100s, hence why we have a heat advisory for those especially south and east of Lincoln. That'll go into place and go into effect by noon today and last until 7 o'clock this evening for heat index values that could be as high as 107, especially towards Falls City and those areas that are allowed to warm up a little bit longer before the cold front kind of drops south, and those north winds will provide for us a little relief. Out there right now, dew point still in the middle 60s, so that's certainly making it feel a little bit sticky as well. Kind of a good measure of that moisture in the atmosphere looking at the dew point, with winds fairly light at about 5 miles per hour, maybe up to 10 miles per hour in Nebraska City. There are just a few more clouds, especially in southern Nebraska, kind of in and around Hebron, Fairbury, and Beatrice, but it's just complementing the view as the sun is coming up. A few more sprinkles trying to survive in northeast Nebraska, but yeah, a lot of that not making it to the ground here early this morning. Now you'll see Stormcast fairly quiet, but another day like yesterday where we saw an isolated storm or two pop near Omaha, as that boundary's sinking south, we'll see a couple more storms popping around it, and we could see that in southeast Nebraska, but this version of Stormcast, not a lot of these models are really not optimistic at seeing one, whereas the better chances will be in southern Illinois and northern portions of Missouri. You can see that cluster growing and then dropping south, threatening some damaging wind gusts and some large hail too. And that's why they really have an enhanced risk out that way further to the east. But Beatrice and far southeast Nebraska is on the edge of a slight level 2 out of 5 risk for watching some of those primary threats throughout this afternoon and evening. Really should be over by about 6, 7 o'clock. And then we're clear for the night, clear for most of Friday too. But yet another round of storms. Summer, you know, we can just see storms and round after round of storms. And hence that's what we're expecting by Friday evening. Maybe a few spotty showers out there early, but we'll be watching for some of these stronger storms in western Nebraska coming into play by about 8, 9 o'clock, moving into central Nebraska by about 11 o'clock midnight, and for us in eastern Nebraska should be after midnight thing. So good news for people traveling in the College World Series, but we could be watching for some gusty winds as those storms try to hold together into eastern Nebraska. And that's why there is a slight level 2 out of 5 risk. This latest update does shift that further west. Meanwhile, those storms are expected to weaken as they get into Lincoln and southeast Nebraska, and that's why we're on the edge of a marginal level 1 out of 5 risk. Saturday afternoon will play out kind of, we'll be watching that the Friday night into Saturday morning round and how that plays out for how Saturday afternoon will happen. But for now, there may be another marginal risk for another strong storm or two by then. And then we're also looking at a hot weekend, temperatures rising back into the upper 90s by Sunday.
Busy today, Jessica. Goodness.
Just a little bit. Summertime, you know, it's that time of the year. Keep watching severe weather and the heat keeps on rolling.
Yeah, no staycations for Jessica this
Nope.
summer. All right. Thank you very much, Jessica.